SES Defender of Freedom uploading data log for day 86 through 88 of the Galactic War. Hello Data Archive. The deactivation of the TCS has progressed well through the last few days. Despite the Terminid swarm in Rata Prime being significantly larger than expected, Helldivers have defied the odds. The bugs will certainly regret the day they chose to mutate using the TCS. In addition, we have dire news of a fleet-wide computer virus shutting down super destroyers across the fleet. The ongoing attacks against managed democracy are unrelenting. At the start of day 86, we completed the shutdown of the TCS in Turing, and as before, the 72nd Orbital Infantry and SNIF engineers were deployed to assist with completing the dismantling of the TCS and liberation of the planet. As all war efforts were redirected to the urgent orders in a Terminid front, the defensive Penta and the Automaton front was lost. But this was a strategic move on the part of the Helldivers, as they focused their efforts on a critical situation in the Umlaut sector. However, the assault from the Automatons on day 86 would not stop there. An Automaton cybersecurity issue was discovered on super destroyers, a computer virus with the name Synchronized Operational Network Yoke, a maniacal socialist toaster effort to link our super destroyer systems together with the Play Automaton network for total domination of our fleet. Efforts began to shut down this fleet-wide virus, but significant portions of the fleet began losing control of their super destroyers over the coming days. To make matters worse, day 86 also saw a Terminid attack on 4E Prime. If 4E Prime is lost, FTL jump access to all three of Osha'une, Estanu, and Crimsica will all be lost, leaving Hellmire as the only planet accessible beyond the barrier planets. You may think the diabolical Terminids are planning to force us through Hellmire in order to reach the deeper sectors. And if you did, you would be wrong, as that would require the bugs to have complex thoughts. The resolve of the Helldivers was unshaken in the face of attacks on our planets and super destroyer fleet. While portions of our fleet were combating the Synchronized Operational Network Yoke, Helldivers also began diving primarily in Rata Prime, the final barrier planet which required rescue. Rata Prime is a desert planet, and Helldivers have noted the disturbing tremors that frequent the battlefields while shutting down the TCS. The hot temperatures on this planet speeds up heat buildup in weapons, as well as hinders the stamina of our freedom-breathing voting species. On prior planets, as we made progress towards shutting down the TCS, we noticed decreased Terminid resistance across the planet. However, it seemed as though Rata Prime was on the tipping point, and Terminid resistance was never decreased. This situation would be extremely dire, but once again, the Helldivers pushed to accomplish the impossible. Throughout days 86 to 88, as many as 75% of all active Helldivers focus on the shutdown of the TCS. This is an unprecedented percentage in the history of the Galactic War, the only other times with percentages this high being the original deployment of the TCS into Rata Prime, and Durgan, the last planet in Operation Swift Disassembly. In the early hours of day 88, Rata Prime was saved, and the TCS was disabled in time, completing the major order. During the TCS shutdown on Rata Prime, the defense of 4E Prime failed, which caused Hellmire to be the only other Terminid planet available. This certainly did not cause more Helldivers to go to Rata Prime to avoid Hellmire. Obviously, Helldivers preferred to go to Rata Prime because they wanted to complete the major order. Following the completion of the major order, Helldivers have successfully prevented all of the barrier planets from being lost to the same fate as Meridia. Meridia has been completely lost and has now been coined a super colony and is still inaccessible. While we have made amazing strides to prevent the worst from happening, without the TCS deployed to control the Terminid populations, the Terminids are a greater threat than we've ever seen before. On top of this, the virus shutting down our fleet was escalating, cutting down our forces by a significant amount. Taking advantage of the situation, the Automatons launched another cowardly attack against the Soth. As we progressed through day 88, our forces were dwindling, and things were not looking to be in our favor. But just as it seemed we were about to face defeat, a breakthrough occurred. Remediation for the virus on super destroyers was discovered, and suddenly, reinforcements arrived in the Soth to turn this fight around. And in one of the closest defenses in the history of this war, the Soth was saved in time. Many Helldivers reunited once again. This concludes this data log for days 86 through 88 Data Archive. The endless attacks against democracy were ultimately weathered down in the past days. We await new major orders to accomplish together with our fellow Helldivers once again.